so surprised, Mrs. Coleman. I'm not a ghost. I'm very much alive.
I thought that you...
Oh, I tried so hard to frighten you away from the Willows. I tried any number of times. You know that.
Yes, but...
I only wish that one of my attempts had been successful. But you wouldn't go. There's a stubborn streak in you.
I just can't believe...
No, don't bother to try and explain. It's too late. It's too late for explanations, and it's too late to save you. You have left me no choice. I have to kill you. I have to stop you from taking Bennett away from me.
From you?
Yes. He doesn't love me, I know. But at least I can keep you from tormenting him the way Ruth did.
I just can't believe that act that you pulled out there. I mean, you're acting like you were dead. I really, listen to me, Hester. That...
I convinced you that I was dying, didn't I?
Uh-huh.
And later on that I was dead?
Oh, yeah.
Well, it wasn't that hard to do. You would have believed anything at that point. You were so frightened. I also convinced you that I was Ruth when I called you on the phone and told you to meet me here at 9 o'clock.
That is not why I came back here. I did not come for that reason. I came because I needed to talk to Bennett. I know.
You came for Bennett. You had another argument at the party tonight, didn't you?
We certainly did not have an argument.
Well, it doesn't matter. I heard you calling for him when you first came back here, but I don't really care why you came back.
Hester, why did you pretend that you were...
Watch out!
Why did you pretend that you were dead?
You still don't understand, do you? It was my last attempt to frighten you away from the Willows. I thought if I could convince you that Bennett had stabbed me during one of his spells, that you'd run out of here for good.
You mean it was lies? Lies? The whole thing about killing Ruth and about all the stuff that was in his drawer, that was all lies?
You're finally understanding. When it's too late.
I should have known. I should have guessed it was you all along.
You know, it's too bad that Bennett drove up here. It's very ironic. Because he drove up here at the last minute. You have to die now. And on the very eve of your wedding.
Hester, you're not going to get by with this.
What makes you think I won't? I've planned the whole thing very carefully.
Because Bennett is downstairs. He's coming up right away.
You're lying.
No, I'm not.
You are lying to me. I know what happened down there. After you went down the secret passageway, I heard Bennett coming to the room, so I hid in the closet. Bennett came in. I watched him. He saw the stain on the carpet. He touched it. He knew it wasn't real. It's the kind of blood that actors use on the stage. I found it in Martin's makeup kit. You'd forgotten that my brother was an actor, hadn't you? Bennett knew it wasn't real, and so he went down the secret passageway to find you.
That's right, he did. And he found me, and we talked. We got everything all
I
worked
told
out.
you to stop lying to me! Bennett! Shut up!
Bennett's on his way up here. He just stopped to get something. He'll be here any
These
moment.
are foolish lies, Mrs. Coleman. I know that he can't come up here to rescue you. I followed him down the secret passageway, and I watched the two of you together in the cellar. I saw you hit him with the flashlight, and I saw him fall to the bottom of the stairs. Poor Bennett. He may be dead now. But even if he is, he's better off than he would be, married to another woman like Ruth.
He's not dead. Oh, no, he can't be dead.
Oh, you don't know that. He took a bad fall. But it doesn't matter. As long as I know that he'll never belong to another woman. He was meant to be mine. Only mine. Forever.
Mister, you're mad.
No. No, I'm the sane one. Because I'll be alive when you're dead. Dead. Like Ruth, like Martin, and like Derek Bickford. Yes. You will be dead and buried under the bricks in the cellar, next to Ruth.
This time you won't be able to get away with it.
I know what I'm doing.
I am not like Ruth.
On the contrary, you are very much like Ruth in every way, and that proved to be your downfall.
No, you see, I have friends here. Ruth was up here. She was at your mercy because she was all alone.
Well, I don't see anybody rushing in to save you.
My son is here, and Bob is here. They're just down the road with Dr. Bickford. And when I don't come back very soon, they're going to start looking for me, and they're going to come up here, and they're going to discover the truth.
No one else has.
Well, that's because Ruth was here all alone, and she didn't have any friends, and she didn't have any family, and that's why.
Well, your friends will be gone very shortly. For a few days, they'll wonder what happened to you, but then they'll pack up and go home and wait to hear from you there.
No, they won't, not my friends. They'll stay here, and they will look, and they will investigate until they find out what the truth really is. And when they do, they'll know that you killed Ruth and Martin and Derek.
Derek Bickford was a fool.
He was a friend. He was a good man and a very good friend.
He was a fool, like most men. He was attracted to a pretty face, but he never looked beneath the surface to find a woman of substance. That was Martin's undoing, too. Most men are fools.
You don't mean that, not really. You can't mean that of Bennett. Oh, I know. You think you can say anything to Bennett and he'll believe whatever you say. What are you going to say this time, Hester, when I disappear? How are you going to explain that to him? I really would like to know. Are you going to say I ran off with another man? You can't do that, because if you do, he'll never believe you. So what are you going to do, Hester?
You know, I didn't know how I was going to explain it to Bennett, but you have just given me an idea. Whatever you did to him at the party tonight caused him to have another one of his headaches. If he is alive down there in the cellar, when he wakes up, he'll remember only a few vague details.
What do you say to him?
I will tell him that he killed you in a moment of mad jealousy, and that I protected him by disposing of the body.
You'll never believe that.
He'll have no choice. And from then on, we'll be bound together with our secret for life.
It's not going to work, Hester.
I think it will. I know it will.
You know what's really going to happen to you? They're going to discover all about you, and they're going to put you in an institution. You want to go to an institution, Hester, do you really? Because when they do, you'll never see the Willows again. You'll never see your Bennett again. You'll never see anything again, Hester.
That is only wishful thinking, Mrs. Coleman. No. I'm going to see this thing through to the finish, and no one will ever find out the truth. Don't you move. I want you right here.
Bennett! Oh, don't you dare come near me! Don't you dare! I'm telling you, I have never killed anyone before. Oh, I'm not like you, Hester. You take one step closer to me, and I'll get you here. Don't move! Bob! Careful, Hester! Careful! Oh! Bob, wait a minute! I just have to get the door. Wait just a moment. It's a funny lock. Oh, thank God you're here.
Even though we still don't have electricity, we can brighten up this place by that fire. You know, I wish you'd come back to the old Colonial Inn instead of waiting here.
I can't. I have to stay. So many questions that are not answered.
Well, the most important question has been answered. It was Hester who was trying to frighten you away from this place since the beginning.
You know, that's really not what I'm talking about. That's not what's bothering me.
Bennett?
Oh, yes. When you and Tom brought him up from the cellar, I couldn't bear to face him. That's why I ran upstairs to my room and locked the door. And then Bennett came upstairs. He wanted to talk to me, but I just couldn't talk to him at that time.
Well, that's a natural reaction after everything you'd been through.
I don't think it's a very natural reaction for a woman to have for the man she loves.
Lisa, it's going to take you and Bennett some time to adjust to what happened tonight.
Bob, what did he say? Anything?
Nothing. But he was hurt because you wouldn't open the door.
Well, I know he'll be back in a few minutes with the sheriff, but I just can't bear to face him. I don't know how I can.
Well, look, I'll be here, Tom will be here, and I'm sure he'll bring back Kim and Dr. Bickford. You'll be surrounded by friends. We'll see you through it.
Lisa? Oh, honey. Honey, I'm so sorry. Oh, bless your heart. Tom told me the whole thing. I just can't believe it.
I can't either.
Come over here.
Good heavens, all the years I've known Hester, I wouldn't have believed that... I knew she loved Bennett. But when she said that she accepted the idea that he was marrying Lisa and that she could live with it, I believed her. I shouldn't have.
Oh, Hester could be very convincing.
Where is Hester's body?
Upstairs.
I'll explain, Lisa. We found her in the room that used to be Ruth Hadley's.
And she was dead when you found her?
Yes.
Yes, you see, she went up there. She locked the door.
Bennett broke the door down.
I didn't go in. Tom and Bob went in, and they...
All right.
There were candles burning all over that room. Hester was on the bed. She was wearing the dress Mom planned to be married in tomorrow. She was dead.
I'll go up now.
I'm so glad that Bob and Tom got here when they did.
Oh, I am too. Do you know, I grabbed the letter opener away from Hester, and then she was coming after me because she was going to grab it back from me. She was going to try to kill me. And then Bob and Tom were yelling outside the door.
Right. It's all right. It's all right, dear. Now, I just think you should come back to the inn with us.
I can't. I know I have to stay here. I have to wait.
Why?
Because Bennett will be back here soon with the sheriff.
No, I don't know why you would have to wait for them.
Well, there are all kinds of questions that'll have to be answered.
Well, the sheriff can wait till tomorrow to hear what you have to say. Now, let me get your coat.
No, Kim, I really can't. I feel like I must not run. I mean, it's very difficult for me to stay here, but there are just certain things that are even more difficult that I'm going to have to face now. And...
Look, I knew I'd alarmed you with a phone call. That's why I came by to at least explain what I could.
Well, you're right, Grant. David and I couldn't fall asleep after you called.
I didn't want to bother you, but I needed that number to reach Kim.
What is going on up there, Grant?
Well, David, the most important thing is Lisa is all right. Now, Tom was almost impossible to understand when he called me. The connection was bad. They were having trouble with the phone service up there because of an ice storm or so, but he really sounded relieved.
Oh, I can understand that. What a dreadful experience for all of them.
Yeah, especially for Lisa. Look, I hope I put the pieces all together, but basically, Hester Pierce wanted to kill Lisa because she wanted Bennett. And along the line, she'd kill anyone who stood in her way.
I'm just so relieved that Kim was staying at the other inn this time.
Well, obviously, this woman, this Mrs. Pierce, was demented. It's just hard to believe that she would have enough grasp on reality to get through a day's routine. How could she possibly do all that and still conceal her madness?
Well, David, her kind of madness has an almost fiendish cleverness about it, you know. Look at the facts. I mean, she killed Ruth Hadley almost a year and a half ago and buried her in the cellar of the inn.
What a horrible thing for Lisa to have to go through. But she must have a great sense of relief now that she knows everything is over.
Well, it's not really over yet, David.
What do you mean, Grant?
Well, Lisa and Bennett are supposedly going to be married tomorrow.
They're not going to go ahead with the wedding right now, are they?
Well, I imagine they'll put it off, but, all the other plans...
Yeah, they were going to reopen that inn.
Yeah, I just can't imagine Lisa going on living at the Willows with Bennett now. After all the horrors she's seen there. I don't know.
I called the coroner's office before I came out here. They should be here any moment now to remove the body.
As I told some of you, Dr. Karanowski called me earlier today. He wanted to know where Hester had taken Martin.
Well, did she tell you?
Well, she told me that she had taken him to a place in Wisconsin called Rose Hill. I don't know if she was telling the truth.
I doubt it.
Why, Bennett?
Because I think... Sheriff, I think if you drag the lake at the bottom of the quarry, you'll find Martin there.
You mean you think she killed her own brother?
I bet she did, because she said that Martin was dead, and so was Ruth, and so was Derek.
Hester was completely insane.
Is this just a suspicion you have, Bennett, or do you know something else?
No, it's a suspicion, but I'm almost sure. I first got suspicious of Hester when she called and said she got stuck in the old quarry road in Dr. Bickford's car. There's no reason to use that road unless...
Oh, well, Bennett, now I understand. That's why you reacted so strongly when I told you the children were on their way over to Ice Gate over there by the quarry.
My suspicions about Hester have been growing for some time about all sorts of things. Especially after she started those strange tricks to try to frighten you away. I know you thought I should send her away, but I thought if I dismissed her... See, I thought if she were here, she might go too far, and she'd slip up and I'd learn the truth.
The truth? Did you actually suspect her of murdering Ruth?
No, not at first. I never would have stayed in the same house with her for a year and a half if I had, but I first really started suspecting her when she told me about Martin's ramblings and the words cellar and shovel. Why would she tell you that? If she was trying to conceal her own guilt. She knew what she was doing. If I'd gone down to the cellar and stumbled on the truth, she would have told me that I had killed Ruth.
But you knew you hadn't.
She could convince me that I had during one of those horrible headaches and forgotten.
That's true, she could.
You know that?
Oh, yes. She said as much tonight. And in fact, she said that she was going to tell you that you had killed me tonight.
I'll never forgive myself for all this. I should have sent her away months ago. Oh, I could have saved so much pain and agony and death if I'd just done something about Hester.
I don't know what you could have done, Bennett, without any real evidence.
Bennett, Sergeant Hargraves is right. If you had accused her, I admit I would have been the first to defend her.
When did you first feel you had something on her?
I don't know exactly. I guess things started coming together when Kim found that torn page from Ruth's diary. Said that Ruth had been locked in her room. There were only 2 people that could have done it. I knew it wasn't me. And then I discovered that Hester was using that secret passageway down to the cellar. I knew there was something down there that was worrying her.
Did you look around down there after that?
Oh, yeah, many times. I'd lock myself in my room supposedly to write and go down there and dig around with a shovel in places that weren't bricked, but I never found anything.
I almost forgot.
What?
Ruth's diary. I found that tonight. Now, I bet that has something in there that could help us. Things that we don't know anything about. I'm going to go down and get it. Come with me, Sheriff, please, and keep the light.
It's almost midnight. I better let the two of you get back to bed.
Oh, we'll probably wait up until Dee comes back from work.
This late?
She works all sorts of strange hours with Ian McFarland.
Oh.
Yes, but tonight is a little later than usual, isn't it?
Well, I don't think she's ever worked until midnight before. Some more coffee, Grant?
Oh, no, thanks. No, look, I have to leave. Tom promised to call me when he would give me more details, you know.
You know, Kim mentioned that Ralph was listing your house. I mean, Lisa's house. I'm not sure what I should call
Well,
it.
look, essentially it's Lisa's, but I still have an interest in it.
But it isn't sold yet, is it?
Well, we're going to put it on the market, David, yes, but I think I better have Ralph hold up on that. I don't know whether Lisa and Bennett, they may decide to stay in Oakdale after all, you know.
Well, what would Bennett do in Oakdale? He has an inn to run up in Norwich.
Well, he's a writer, you know. Writers can work almost any place, really.
What do you know about his writing?
Well, not much, Ellen. You know, although Derek Bickford did read the novel and said it was brilliantly written. It should be a big success.
Who read it?
Derek Bickford. He was a young publisher. Another of Hester Pierce's victims. You know, I can't imagine Bennett wanting to keep that in. I mean, his first wife murdered there, Derek Bickford, and Lisa. Yeah, she came very close to losing her life in that place.
I feel like an intruder reading Ruth's diary this way.
Well, Lisa, I think it was important for us to read that. I mean, what you read there was few.
Henry, I can't tell you how guilty I feel about Derek getting killed.
Oh, Bennett. I'm not blaming you.
I just feel that if I'd spoken sooner, if I'd told you about my suspicions. Derek was getting too close to Hester's terrible secret, and that's why she killed him.
Yes. A lot of things are beginning to make a hideous kind of sense now.
I have to take responsibility for putting Lisa's life in danger. That's something I'm going to have to live with for the rest of my life.
Bennett, what do you plan to do about that terrible jealousy?
It's a sickness. I'm going to cure it before I can ever hope to lead a normal life. Ask anyone to share that life with me.
I really don't feel like I should read anymore. It's too personal.
Well, honey, what you read there was just full of love. Really a great love.
A great love. Destroyed by jealousy and a lack of trust.
A great love. Look, you all please do me a favor. Would you leave me alone with Bennett?
Mom, I don't think that you
Your
should.
mother's right. Things that have to be said between your mother and Bennett, and they won't get said if we're all here.
Thank you, Bob.
All right.
Honey, I have twin beds in my room at the inn, and I'll leave the key at the desk for you.
Thank you. I don't think that's going to be necessary.
How long do you think you're going to be, Mom?
Darling, I have no earthly idea. I have a lot of things I must say to Bennett, and I imagine Bennett has quite a few things he wants to say to me, too. Chimes. Midnight. The end of the chimes mean the beginning of a new day. A day that would have been my wedding day.
I'm sorry to be calling so late, Grant.
Oh, no, Tom, no, that's fine. I was expecting to hear from you.
Yeah, I know I probably woke you up, though.
I was in bed, but I couldn't sleep, you know. I'm very anxious to know what's going on up there. I called the man and at the desk, and he told me that you hadn't gotten back yet, and well, Bob and Kim weren't there either, so.
We're all over at the Willows.
Well, I called over there, the line was still out over there.
Hester had cut those lines. She had set up a supposed meeting with Ruth and Mom, and she didn't want there to be any way for her to call for help. Well, Mom had no intention of going to that appointment, but there was an unpleasant incident at the party we were having.
Well, what happened?
Oh, Mom was dancing with Dad, and Bennett had one of his jealous outbursts, stormed out of the room, and of course, Mom decided to go and look for him.
Well, how is she now?
She's an amazing woman.
Yeah, well, I know that, but look, is she getting some rest?
No, not really. She insisted on staying at the Willows to talk things out with Bennett.
Huh? How long ago was that?
About 2 hours. Kim and Dad and I came back here. We couldn't go straight to bed. We sat in the lobby and talked for quite a while.
I don't think anybody's going to get much sleep tonight.
Look, is Sheriff Hargrave still at the Willows?
No, he left, but he's going to come back tomorrow to ask some more questions, and he still has to get a statement from Mom.
Well, look, there's nothing else for Lisa to do in Norwich, is there?
No, not really.
Well, Tom, has she said anything about her immediate plans, or?
No, she hasn't.
Yeah. Well, look, I know how hard-headed that she can be, but I just hope that you and Bob and Kim can convince her and talk her into coming back to Oakdale with you at least, huh?
I don't know what she plans to do. Frankly, I don't think she does either at this point.
Blame myself for the whole thing. I told Dr. Bickford, who's so kind to me over the years, that it's my fault that Derek was killed.
No, Bennett, you cannot go around blaming yourself for that.
Listened to you and sent Hester away. Derek could be alive now.
I'm not sure about that. If you'd sent Hester away, she was so obsessed with you, with the Willows. I'm sure she would have found a way to get back. She would have come back.
I did nothing. I kept my suspicions to myself.
Look, you've got to stop blaming yourself like this.
Don't you blame me for my fits of jealousy?
Well, I blame those fits of jealousy you had because they changed a very gentle man into...
I know. They just make me lose all reason.
Well, that's true. I've certainly seen you lose control enough, but that can be helped, you know. All you have to do is seek out professional help, and I hope you will.
I intend to. I mentioned it to Dr. Bickford. He's going to recommend someone. But
Good, I'm glad.
it doesn't undo anything.
No. Look, Bennett, I have a problem, too. Something that's very difficult for me to think about, but I feel like I must talk to you about it. For a while tonight, I actually believed that you were a murderer. I thought that you had killed Ruth, Derek, Hester, and you were going to kill me.
That's what Hester wanted you to believe.
I know it is. I know that's what she wanted, but that's not the point. I still blame myself. And there's a reason for that. I can't help it. It's because I should never have lost trust in you. But I did. How could I possibly think even for a moment that the man I loved so much, the man I was going to marry, spend the rest of my life with, that he would possibly be capable of murdering me? And yet I believed that?
You never would have believed it if you hadn't witnessed my wild temper and those fits of jealousy. And
Well,
I was jealous of Grant and
I know.
poor Derek and Bob Hughes, and I was even jealous of your closeness with Tom and with Kim. It's because I love you so much, but I know that's no excuse.
I know. how many times I saw you lose control like that. So I guess that when Hester started telling me all of these things tonight, all of these lies, then all of these terrible moments you had came back to mind.
That's why you believed Hester?
Of course it is. Well, also the circumstances did help a little bit. I was terrified. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what was happening.
You don't have to justify anything, Lisa.
But that's only a part of you. As you know, a little while ago I read through part of Ruth's diary. And that's when I discovered that she really loved you, Bennett. She loved you with all her heart and soul.
We were first married, yes.
Oh, she came up here to share the rest of her life with you. She loved you so. Until your jealousy turned her love into fear and then into despair. And when I started to read all of that, it made me feel so sad. Because I realized all along I've been led to believe that she really wanted to be up here and be unfaithful to you and that she really didn't love you. But that's not the way it was at all, is it? When I read on in her diary, I saw where she first mentioned about her attraction to Martin Blake. And she fought against this attraction. She did not want it to go any further.
I suppose that's true.
But he was very kind and he was very understanding and he was gentle with her.
And I was withdrawing from her.
Yes. So more and more she turned to Martin. And then finally she realized that she really loved him. And all the feeling she ever had for you was totally gone. I don't want that to happen to me. Bennett, I love you still. I love you so much. And I don't want this love to be destroyed by jealousy, anger, fear. I would much rather just... I'll
wake up Betsy in a few minutes.
Yes, she'll have to start getting ready for school. Look, honey, I'm just sure that Dee will be in touch with you at any moment with a very good explanation.
Well, I hope so. Can't help but worry when I wake up and find that her bed hasn't been slept in.
Well, it's still pretty early, you know. She maybe didn't want to wake us up.
Why didn't she call last night?
Honey, I can't answer that, but, you know, Dee is not our little girl anymore. We have to realize that.
I think I do. She always calls us when she's going to be out late or when she's going to sleep over at Annie's apartment.
Well, I'll get us some more coffee.
Oh, that's Dee now, I'm sure. You're right as usual.
Now, when are you just going to accept that?
Hello, Dee. Oh, Annie, darling. How are you? No, you didn't wake me up. Annie, tell me, have you heard from Dee?
Are you awake, Dad?
Yeah.
Did you sleep at all?
No, not that I really expected to. How about you?
Dropped off for a few minutes. Then I saw Mom in my mind. You know, the way she was when we found her, when she finally opened the door last night.
Well, I must say, there were a lot of thoughts that kept me awake.
Dana?
Yeah. Well, I guess it was an hour or so ago. Light started to come through the window. I started to think of Dana waking up in a hotel room in New York, about to go back to a world that I know nothing about. A world that I can't really expect to be a part of.
It's going to be very lonely for her in New York. I think it'll convince her once and for all that she doesn't want that world anymore.
I can only hope you're right, son.
Oh. I wondered where you were.
Thought we could use some coffee.
Oh, yes. Good idea. Oh, I must have really dozed off while you were out there.
I was pleased that you did.
I was exhausted. Emotionally and physically. I didn't even need the pill Dr. Bickford left for me.
You made that very strong.
Oh, you did. It's very good.
Phone man should be here today, although I have no idea how long it'll take to have service again.
Well, beginning of a new day. Life does go on, doesn't it? Guess we just have to try to go along with it. It's interesting, we talked most of the night. One good thing happened, though. We've stopped blaming ourselves for everything. Now, at the beginning of this new day, we have to decide, what do we say to each other? Do we say good morning? Or good...
That's something I can't bear to hear you say.
I don't want to say it either. Bennett, we've got to work this out, though, as unemotionally as possible. I don't know if we can be unemotional about this.
Got the lights back.
Oh, well. Just like that. See how life does go on. It's too bad our lives can't be like that. I mean, a line is cut, it's severed, put back together, picked right up where you left off. But we both know that it just doesn't work that way, does it?